All right. So today I'm joined by someone who doesn't just talk style, she embodies it as a tool for leadership, presence, and transformation. Elisa Ellis is a wardrobe stylist, a speaker, a best-selling author of The Style Advantage, I Say What HR Can't, which we will talk about, and the creator of the ABC system for professional presence. She works with executives, entrepreneurs, and teams across the US and abroad, helping them align how they show up, who they really are, and who they're becoming. Her approach is not about trends or makeovers. It is about using style as a catalyst for confidence, visibility, and results. Because when you dress like that next level version of yourself, you become her. For nearly a decade, she's helped clients transform their closets and their lives by letting go of old identities, holding them back, and stepping fully into their power. Elisa, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. It's been a long time in the making.
Yes, and I'm so excited to be here.
I feel like that's my fault because I stopped doing interviews for a long time and I was like, I've got to get you on the show. I've got to get you on the show. And then finally I was like, okay, I'm bringing the interviews back. I got to get you on the show. Oh man, there's just so much we're going to get into, but you know what I really want you to talk about? Because I know you come also from a corporate environment.
Mhm.
You left corporate. Tell us how you got into doing this type of work.
This was I can't even, it's a long and windy road, but the short version is I left corporate. I had to find something that would allow me to work with my kids' schedule because they were still small or younger, high school, middle school. So I
Mhm.
became a rep for a jewelry company. And a lot of my clients were speakers, coaches, and they wanted to know how to wear their jewelry different ways. So I was helping them create outfits. And then I had a lot of friends who were going through 20 plus year divorces and they had to go back to work. And they didn't know what business casual or business professional was. So I would help them create capsule wardrobes that would get them through 2 weeks worth of work. So they wouldn't have to go buy a whole bunch of new clothes because they also didn't have a lot of money. And at one point, my dear friend, I've known her most of my life, she's like, you just need to do this. And I was like, really? She goes, yeah, you're really good at it. You just need to do this. And so I thought, okay, what do I have to lose? So I started and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, when somebody tells you that you're really good at something, you always have to listen to that.
Yes. And I think part of it too that's helped is I have been everything from a size 10 to an 18 plus, and now I'm somewhere back in the middle, and I've been through menopause, and I know all, I won't say I know all. I've experienced a lot of the body issues that women have as they have babies, go through menopause, age, gain weight, lose weight, I've always been a plus size gal, and there's always that want to be something you're not, whether it's
Mhm.
smaller, thinner, a different weight, all of those different jean size, all of those things. And I encounter that almost 100% of the time on some level when I'm working with clients. And so that life experience, as good or bad as it was, it brought me here and made me better at what I'm doing today because I had all those experiences.
And one of the things I really like about you too is that the way you go about helping to style people, it's not all about, oh, you need all these designer clothes, you need to do this.
No,
It's about being practical. And I
right.
can't remember if I heard it on your Instagram or if it was in another podcast episode that you were on, but you were talking about how you had gone to buy something and you were like, I was in the store, same brand,
Oh,
tried
yeah.
on multiple things.
Yep.
They were all different sizes. And so
Yep.
I like that you're also bringing that awareness to things because I think our generation, especially, we grew up where it was like, you have to be this number.
Right. Yes. Oh, absolutely. My first diet was before I was 10 because I wanted a pair of powder blue dittos. And I talk about this in the book.
Mm,
I I joke that I did intermittent fasting. I starved myself because I wanted the powder blue denim, and they only made whatever the normal sizes were. They did not make plus sizes. And
mm,
so I starved myself, ate cottage cheese and a number of all the things, grapefruit, apple cider vinegar to lose the weight. And I finally got into those blue dittos and I fell and I ripped the knee of them, and
mm.
then they were gone because we didn't wear
Ripped stuff.
jeans. You didn't wear jeans with holes in them back in the day, but it was literally the beginning of the diet hamster wheel that you had to be a certain size or weigh a certain amount in order to be worthy. And
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe style is not a size or a number on a scale. It's you believing that you're worth it and finding things that fit you where you're at now, whether that's from J. Crew Factory, Veronica Beard, Nordstrom's, Nordstrom Rack, everything in between. It's about finding what you feel confident in. And Instagram is one of the places where I learned you could be a different size and still look beautiful, feel beautiful, have confidence. Because, and back in the day, I didn't have those things, in magazines, everybody was a certain size. There were
Mm.
no multiple sizes. You couldn't look
And it
stylish
was
if you were.
heroin chic at one point.
Yeah, like that truly, I learned from Instagram that, hey, you could be plus size and look beautiful and be stylish and fashionable. You just had to find what worked for you. And I have clients that are all different sizes, everything from 0 to 22 plus and everything in between. And I don't buy the same things for people, nor do I say you have to have X amount of money or wear a certain brand. It's about what works for
Mhm.
you and where you're at in your life, right?
Yeah, it's interesting that you talked about the like midlife reinvention thing because I remember after I got divorced, I was like, well, who am I now? I don't even know who I
Right,
am. When I left corporate, who
right,
am I now? Because my
right.
thing has always been, I call myself business casual because that's this is how I've always dressed. But that also became my identity. And I didn't know like how I was supposed to show up any other way.
Right.
And it was weird.
Well, and it's challenging, right? You have to figure out what that looks like. And there's so many different ideas, especially in social media, the media, all these places. This is what you're supposed to look like. And this is what you're supposed to look like. Okay,
Mhm.
but how, at least in my world, how can you do that so it feels authentic to you? Like, for example, years ago, I went to a conference where this woman said, if you want to be a speaker, you need to wear a sheath dress, 3-inch heels, and nylons. And I was like, well, that's not happening because I gave up nylons when I was like 13 and I'm not wearing them. I don't wear 3-inch heels. And I really, at the time, I wasn't a dress gal. So I
Mm.
was like, how can I make that my version? And that really stuck with me because my version is going to look different from your version. And yet you can still show up in such a way that looks professional or business casual or whatever you need to fit in, because a lot of people feel they need to fit in the box. But my take is, how can you fit in the box authentically and stand out so that you
Mm.
still feel like you, but you're not blending in with everybody else? Because what's the fun in that?
Yes, you talk a lot about showing up authentically, which I really love, and showing up with confidence. It's like, what does that really mean when it comes to personal style? Does it mean like maybe you have a certain color or maybe you do a certain thing? Like, what is that? Is it different for everybody?
I think so. So for years, I wore jeans and t-shirts because personally, I knew I could find things that fit my body. And that was what was comfortable for me. And as my
Mm-hmm.
body size changed, then and my work life changed, I had to find other things that fit my body, but still felt authentic. And the confidence piece, because I've been so many sizes and because I've had clothes not fit and been very uncomfortable because they were too tight, or I thought this is what I was supposed to wear to fit in the box. I've learned that when you put things on that you're not comfortable in, you literally make yourself small. And when I'm working with clients, part of what I do is I have them try on clothes because I can
Mm-hmm.
instantly see whether they're doing this or whether they're standing taller. And I mean, there's literally the space between your ears and your shoulders grows when you put something on that you feel good in. And that's really the confidence piece because it makes such a difference in how you're showing up during your day if you're feeling small or if you're standing tall with confidence. And even in Nancy Medoff's book, she talks a little bit about being authentic and having confidence, and that you're more likely to raise your hand, you're more likely to speak up, you're more likely to share your ideas. So imagine the difference between showing up to work or a meeting and something that you feel frumpy in and that doesn't fit properly versus something that you feel authentic in and gives you confidence.
Yeah. And it's interesting because the work you do, believe it or not, mirrors a lot of the work I do, especially around the energetic side of things. One of the things I always say is your energy speaks before your mouth even opens. But I also feel like style isn't just visual, it's energetic.
Absolutely.
What would you say are some of the ways women are unknowingly dressing from old patterns that maybe don't reflect where they're going now?
Here's a really, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, wearing black
I love
all the
black.
time. I Okay, so you'll appreciate this. I went to a woman who does chakras, and we had this great conversation, and we had this whole conversation about colors and all the different energies that colors have, right? I mean, look, a
Mhm.
great example. I have this yellow sweater. I put that on and I feel like sunshine. And like it just brightens my mood. I put red on, I feel powerful. There's a bunch of things that mean something to me, but we went through all these colors and what they mean on different levels and energy. And she said to me that black is like basically when you're in mourning, right? That's what we wear. And think about that. If you're wearing black all the time, what that's doing to your energy subconsciously, right? I
Mhm.
mean, I'm not the expert. You're the expert. But when she said that, I was like, wow. She said it was numb. It can be numbing. And when I tell that to people, when I share that to people that I know that are comfortable wearing black, they all have to stop and really think about it. And when they do, they find that that's what they're doing. They're doing it because they're either one trying to hide, not have to think about anything for a variety of reasons, but it's basically their way of dumbing down things. It's like, I don't even
Mhm.
want to think about that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because my whole life I grew up very, very thin. And then the weight stuff didn't start happening until I was older. And so because I was used to being thin, I started gravitating towards the black because I didn't want to stand out. I was like, oh, I'm just going to wear black and hide. Now, for me, there's certain black pieces I have that are like they just make me feel like a badass.
Well, there you go.
And I'm like, yes. And plus, I come from a marketing and advertising background. So for us, we always used to joke as creatives, we're like, we don't wear anything but black. Like it was a thing we
I
did.
I get it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Everyone has their like I don't typically wear a lot of black, but I just found this black vest and I wore it on vacation and I feel fantastic in it. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
that whole outfit, I feel very sleek, powerful, fun. It's not my normal, but and that's the other thing. We change. What worked for me last year, 2 years ago, might not work for me today. What works for me now might not work for me in 5 years. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big thing. You and I have talked about this previously, like that what serves us now isn't necessarily what served us 5 years ago. And so many of the women that I work with, professionals, were trying to fit into clothes from 2 years ago, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. I always ask people, are you the same person you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or 2 years ago? The answer is almost 100% of the time, no, right? Because we're all constantly trying to grow, evolve, learn. And then I say, do you have clothes in your closet from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, too, that you're not wearing? The answer is always 100% yes. I mean, it's very
I
rarely
feel so
that
called
anyone.
out. No, but you know what's funny about that? So I think it was around like 2013. I was in the best shape of my life. I was totally jacked. I had muscles. Like it was amazing. And I remember I had like I don't know, I had kept some clothes from my previous thin era. And I remember pulling them out and I was like, oh, I could totally wear these again. And there was a pair of manager jeans, okay? Because I don't wear jeans. I've never really worn jeans. But when I did, they were these manager jeans and they looked so good on me. And I remember pulling them out of the bag. So it would have been like 10 years since they were in style. And I was like, I don't even think they make manager jeans anymore. Why would I wear these?
Yep.
Like it was
Yep.
such a weird moment of realizing like why do I want to go backwards Like I'm not even that version of me anymore.
Exactly. That's
It
exactly
was so
like
weird.
we spend so much time and energy trying to fit into whatever it is that's sitting in our closet, whether it's the jeans, the top, the dress, what have you. You're not that person anymore, literally
No.
or figuratively. And
Or
I've had,
energetically.
right, I've had so many clients who are like, I'm going to lose the weight because, we're all on this weight loss journey. But the reality is, even if those clothes fit you literally, they no longer fit you figuratively. You're not that
Hmm.
person anymore. I had another entrepreneur years ago. She said that, like me, there was this a Jordache pair of jeans, right?
Hmm.
She really wanted to buy a pair of Jordache jeans, and her mom said, "There's no way I would waste that kind of money on the jeans because you'll wear them and then you won't fit in them. It's just not worth it." And what she took away from it was she wasn't worth it. And
Mm.
it pained me. But that's really what we're doing to ourselves is we're not letting go of the clothes because we want to fit back into them. And we're not worth buying the new clothes because there's something wrong with this bigger other side. It's mind blowing how we tell ourselves, I'll be worth it when I'm thinner or smaller or I'm a certain size. And can you
Yeah.
energetically, like, so yes.
That's
So
like a
I'm all about,
massive subconscious thing too. Like
oh,
it's massive.
yeah,
And it
huge.
also ties into this whole, a lot of women have this, I don't know if I want to call it a fear, but they have an issue with visibility, right? So it's
Oh,
like
absolutely.
they don't want to be seen in certain ways.
Right.
But I also believe a lot of that has to do with the clothes they're wearing, also. Like, do you see
Yes.
shifts in how women walk and talk and lead once their wardrobe starts kind of matching their energy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. A lot of women don't want to be quote unquote seen. They want to do their thing and maybe slide under the radar or just keep doing what they're doing. But the
Mm,
challenge is then what happens is, okay, but I want the raise. I want the leadership position. So the idea that you can hide but then be memorable, and that's what I talk about being on brand, right? Like you have to, no one wants to stand out. But then when I say, do you want to stand out for the raise, the leadership position, the new team opening? Then you want to stand out. But you have to find ways. That's why it's important to find ways to show up authentically and on brand and with confidence so that you're top of mind all the
mhm.
time, because that is the only way you're going to get to the next level, because there's somebody else who's going to be bragging on themselves because they want that next level, right? So if you're not speaking up and you're not standing out, you'll get overlooked. So you have to have something. I've watched women and gives me happy tears because so many women after working together, they're just like, they stand differently, they walk differently. I mean, I had a woman in the UK, she wrote me the most heartfelt email. She said, because she didn't go buy new clothes. She didn't lose any weight. She went and had fun with scarves and antique jewelry. And she
Mm.
said, and we worked on wearing what she had in different ways, right? And she said, people are calling me glamorous and beautiful. And she said, I realized I can be me and still be glamour, like this, her, like it was her mailman and her hairdresser, like people she saw on a regular basis noticed this huge shift in how she was showing up simply because she'd accepted her body, knew that she could put outfits together using what she had. She didn't have to lose weight, she didn't have to spend a lot of money, and suddenly her whole life shifted.
Fun
It's
fact,
fantastic.
in
Yeah.
the 80s, I was obsessed with scarves.
Yeah.
I
They're
had the
coming
scarf
back.
pins. I had the book that taught me how to do scarves, like
Oh,
ties in like a million
yeah.
different ways. I was obsessed with scarves, which is weird because I was also very young in the 80s. So I don't know, but like I
That
loved
was your
them.
thing at the
It
time.
was. I loved them. Also, for me, and we kind of talked about this before we hit record, I feel like what you're wearing does, it obviously does project energy. And I've had two experiences. And listen, I'm not saying everybody needs to look like freaking supermodels. I'm not saying you have to be doused in designer clothing, okay? But And this is what I'll say. I've had two experiences where I hired very high level coaches. One of them was $5,000 US for 1 month. And everything I saw of her, she was very put together. Like, she looked like she had her shit together. When she showed up for my calls, she was in her robe on her bed with her laptop. The second situation I had, again, I was investing a lot of money. It was around 7,000 a month US. So for us
Oh,
Canadian, you got to add like a big chunk of change on
yeah.
there. And this woman would show up, sometimes looking like her hair hadn't been washed in a month, sometimes looking like her clothes hadn't been washed, and sometimes looking like a hobo. Now, some people might argue, but did that affect the level of coaching? Kind of, because to me, like, if you're not willing to put some effort into yourself,
Right.
it's weird. Like,
Well, yeah. So there's something called the leapfrog. I mean, look, there's a lot of research and data, studies that I could share that talk about how what you wear affects how people view your competency, how smart you are, all of those things, right? But like you said, the energy, like someone's paying you to do a job, and the energy that you're bringing to the situation is you didn't even bother to get dressed. So that tells me that I'm not very important to you and I'm not worth
yes,
your
that's how I
time.
felt. I was
Right.
like,
Even though you're paying them for their time, they didn't it's just not important to them. So,
mhm.
my people always say, well, it shouldn't matter. Okay, yeah, maybe it shouldn't matter. But the reality is that we judge people and our competency and a whole number of things are deemed by how, I mean, 93% of communication is nonverbal.
Yes, it
So
is.
before you even open your mouth, and that's just not communication, but that's energy. And you and I talked
Mhm.
about this, right? There's a difference when you show up to something and you're standing tall and you feel confident versus you feeling small and shrinking on yourselves. And when you wear something that you don't feel confident in or that doesn't feel authentic, it's gonna show. I mean, years ago, I went to a conference. This was pre-COVID. It was in LA. This woman paid a lot of money to be on stage for 3 minutes, 5 minutes to sell us something. Okay, I don't even know what it was. The entire time she was up on stage, she was futzing with her clothes. Like they were
Mm.
sticking to her, and she kept pulling her shirt, and you could tell she was just visibly uncomfortable. I have no idea what she was selling
Yeah, because
because
all
I
you
was
could watch.
so distracted by her I call it the futz dance, okay? By
Mm.
her pulling at her. That's the energy that you're bringing when you put clothes on that you don't feel authentic or confident in, is that futzing and constantly shifting. And if imagine going into a meeting or wanting to have a new client or doing a proposal or working on a project and you're just constantly futzing, that's not the energy you want to bring to a situation or walk in the room with.
No, and I can tell you if I'm wearing something I'm not comfortable in, I am so cranky. Jeans to me, like when I worked in corporate and every Friday was like jeans Friday, you could pay to wear jeans. I was like, hell no, I'm not wearing because
Yeah.
jeans to me are so constrictive. I've never liked them. I like to be comfortable. I like
There you go.
things to move. I remember, I think it was probably around 2018, I was doing this talk. It was in front of like 300 people. And I decided, okay, I'm going to wear like a blazer, which I don't wear, and like this bright yellow shirt, which is not something I would wear. I did wear comfortable pants. They were cool. And I had really cool kind of shoes on. But I just remember getting off of that stage and being like, I need to I need to
You
change.
need to take it off. Yep.
And I had that outfit hanging in my closet until probably last year. And I was like,
Oh my gosh.
I've never worn
Why?
this.
Why are you keeping it?
I will never wear it again. So I donated it. The people I donate too much, they just love it because sometimes the stuff I'm donating has tags on it because
Right.
I have this thing where I'll go, not so much anymore. Now my rule is if I go and I try something on, I have to absolutely love it for it to come home with me.
Okay, here's another rule, the power of two.
Ooh.
You have to make two outfits with it, like in your mind. So, like that pink shirt, can
Yeah.
you throw a cardigan over it? Can you wear it with
Yes.
pants? Can you wear it with legging? Whatever it is, you got to be able to make two new outfits with it. And can you wear it for two seasons?
Oh, I
So,
love
spring,
this.
summer, fall, winter. And if you can't, then it doesn't matter how much it's on sale or what a great deal it is. It's not the right fit because then you just have this one-off piece that you have to then go buy more pieces to make outfits with it.
The power of two. Okay, I'm obsessed with this now. That is going to be my new thing.
Okay.
And it's also funny because I was listening again, I heard you on another podcast, and I remember you were talking to Nancy Medoff, our good friend Nancy, and she had been talking about how she was traveling one time and she looked, what did she call it, a
Mm.
schmerdinken or something? I don't know what
Schleppy.
she
Yeah.
says.
Schlinkadink. Yep.
And it was funny because I had gone to California and I hate travel. I don't like flying. And I fly business class because I don't like being near people and I don't like airports.
Okay.
So I had bought myself this like, God, it was like a tracksuit. I don't even know because I wanted to be comfortable because my flight was super early in the morning. And I remember not, because it's also, again, not something I would wear. I remember not feeling totally like myself in that outfit and I wasn't comfortable. And then I remember hearing you and Nancy talking about this. And ever since then, anytime I have to go on a plane, I make sure that I'm wearing something comfortable, but not schleppy.
Yep. Yep.
Because you were talking about, you don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know what's going
Right.
to happen. You don't know if there's going to
No.
be business opportunity. Like
Absolutely.
that hit me. I was like, huh,
Right.
interesting.
You could meet new clients. I can't anywhere. I mean, I've
Yeah.
met clients on planes. I've met them at networking events. I've met them coffee shops. I mean, and that's the other piece of showing up on brand is if you have, like for me, it's glasses, right? Like I have all kinds of glasses now. That's just my thing. It doesn't have to be something expensive. It can be something simple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's how you're memorable. And that's what you want, right? Like Nancy, she wears pink,
Mm-hmm.
always something pink. My girlfriend and a dear friend, client, she wears something orange. I mentioned in the book. It, it's always something orange. And now her clients know, is she going to wear sneakers? Is she going to wear a pair of earrings, a bracelet, a top? But she's always got something on that's orange. It doesn't have to be a whole suit that's orange. It's just her thing. So
Yeah.
what is that for you? But can we go back real quick to the hanging
Yeah.
on to pieces in your closet that are no longer
Mm-hmm.
you? Because we all think that we're the only ones who do it, but we all do it. I mean, there is always something in the closet that we're waiting for, and I'm not sure what it is. It's a different answer for different people, but you even talked about it one time on a podcast that it's like weight. It's waiting on you, literally like a weight.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many times I've worked with people to help them let go of pieces in their closet, and they tell me how much lighter they feel because we have all these attachments for a variety of reasons. And once you let go of those, it makes such a huge difference in how you feel, your whether or not you're excited to get dressed in the morning. It can be a huge, huge energy shift.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because it's funny. I have a box sitting in the hallway of clothes that have to go out. But for me, I think it can be overwhelming to go through things. And then
Yeah.
once you've cleared out the closet, standing there and going, oh, I don't actually have any clothes. Now I have to go shopping. Like it's a weird, yeah, it's weird because we hang on to I don't know. I think in some cases we hang on to memories or we hang on to things, but it's also funny because I'm always telling people we don't want to go backwards. The work that I
Right.
do with people, we're not going backwards. We're creating from the present moment. And
Right.
even when I have people doing identity work and we're tapping into their next highest potential version of themselves, when they're doing that work, I'm like, when you visualize that version of you, what are you wearing? And
Yeah.
so
What does that look like?
yeah. And they'll go, I'm wearing a shirt. I'm like, what color is it? What does it look like? What are you naked underneath? And they're like, no, I have like this flowy white shirt on and these black jeans and these badass boots. And I'm like, okay, cool. If you see something that looks like that when you're
Right.
out and about, go buy it because
Yep.
that can become an anchor to that version of you.
Yes. And that's brilliant. And here's the thing. So many people don't want to do the work
Mm-hmm.
or struggle or don't know where to start of how to do the work of what that looks like, right? I mean, it can be overwhelming. And so
Yeah.
I usually challenge people, go on Instagram, go on Pinterest, pick out magazines, whatever it is for you, and clip a few pictures, take a few pictures, crop screenshots, whatever it is, and then try one of those pieces. Like try an outfit, buy the top, buy the dress, buy the pant, whatever it is, see how they fit. Like don't go out and buy a whole new wardrobe necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Try a few pieces, try them on, see how they feel. It's kind of like when when I went wedding dress shopping, what I had in my mind of what I wanted, all the pictures that I clipped, and then what I actually ended up with, two different things, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
some things work for my body, some things don't. Like I love the whole tutu skirt trend. It's cute. I could never wear that because I would just look and feel like a big house. But there's other things that I wear that are fantastic and I feel great in. So the idea that this one thing you have to try it on and see if it works for you because it might not work for you.
Mm, love that. I'm still obsessed with this rule of two thing.
I started it because so many people, especially women, it's interesting to me. We buy clothes because they're on sale, it's a good deal. We're supposed to be thrifty, all of these things. But when it comes to spending money on other people, we buy for our family, our friends, our parents, all the things.
Mm-hmm.
But oh gosh, I could never spend that on that. Like, why not?
Ties into the
Why?
worthiness stuff.
Exactly, right? So, and also taking time, setting time aside to figure out what you want is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I help people through that process of asking questions and what does this look like and how does it feel and how do you want to feel and all of those little pieces start to come together and sometimes it's liberating, sometimes it's exciting, sometimes it's frustrating. Well, I thought I wanted to look like this, but really that doesn't feel right. And so it's about trying new things, and that can be really scary sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
it's also you have to say, I am worth it. I'm worth the investment, not just in money, but in time. I'm worth setting aside time for myself and doing this for myself and spending money on myself.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. And because a lot of women, we've been taught you should just be grateful for what you have. You should want
Exactly.
more.
Right. Exactly. And so the power of two kind of came from that was okay, if I'm going to spend money on this, I want to know that it can work with multiple outfits.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's really helped overall because it's helped me create a lot of capsule wardrobes, whereas you have a certain number of clothes, but you can all mix and match them together. So for the woman who wants to be, I'm going to say thrifty, although that's not my favorite word, but who wants to make the most of her wardrobe and not spend a lot of money, those are the power of two is great. Like this
Mm-hmm.
shirt. This shirt is I've had it for at least 5, 6 years. I can wear it with jeans, shorts, a skirt, slacks, whatever. And I can wear it by itself, or I can throw a blazer or cardigan or something over it. That's what I want. I want it to be versatile. So when you do spend the money, you're getting the most bang for your buck.
Well, I'm gonna be linking up your Instagram because if people are not following yet, they need to be following you because pretty much every day you're in your closet putting together outfits and explaining things. And it's like,
Yes.
oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, it's also interesting because it's something I say, and I've heard you say it. Our brands never sleep. So
Right.
when people can start to recognize things And it made me think because my brand online is black, pink, and I've introduced this like acid yellow color. But my power color, yes, I wear pink obviously because I'm wearing it, but
Yeah.
my power color is blue. But
And you look really good in it.
when I tried to bring the blue into the brand
It didn't
online, I
work.
was like, no. So I always have my nails always have some sort of blue on them. And
There
it's
you
funny
go.
because the polish that I have now, the girl who does my nails, she bought it specifically for me. It's my signature color. And she's like, we're going to call this Brenda in a bottle because it is my color of blue.
There
So
you
that I
go.
feel like that's my thing that I bring with me all the time. It's
Absolutely.
my blue nails.
Absolutely. You could probably get those bottles and resell them as Brenda's
That would
blue.
be badass,
There you
actually.
go. I mean, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. But like, that's the perfect example of your brand never sleeps, right? Like, that's something you do on a regular basis. It's not overwhelming. It's not uber expensive. It's not going way out of your comfort zone. It's something you already do. And it's a conversation starter, right? I heard something, I think I wrote about it last week on Instagram or LinkedIn. You want something that someone can compliment or comment on because that is the opening for a connection,
Mm, I
right? Like
love
it
that.
doesn't have to be something expensive or something big. It can be something small and simple, but it's something because think of all the people who are introverts, don't know how to start a conversation, even me as an extrovert. Sometimes you just don't know what to say. And the easiest thing is to compliment someone on something or to comment on it. Like, I love the jacket. I love that color. I love the shoes or whatever it is. And it's a conversation starter that leads to a
Mm,
connection.
yes. I actually want to talk about your book. Your book is titled The Style Advantage. I Say What
Yes.
HR Can't. I want to know what is one truth about style and professionalism that HR wishes they could say, but they can't.
So I come from a time where if you wore something inappropriate, you were called into an office and told, go home or don't wear that again. No one wants to have those conversations anymore.
Mm,
And the dress code policies at a lot of companies have shifted to what's called a dress for your day policy. But what happens is that leaves a lot of outfits open to interpretation. And the struggle is management typically has one idea of what business casual or business professional is, and team members have a different idea of what that looks like. And so the struggle has become it's very hard to create a company culture because you have people at different levels wearing different outfits and it creates tension. For example, I just happened to be on vacation last week. I was sitting next to a group of people in pharmaceuticals. Some of the women were like, I'm fine wearing jeans and a t-shirt. I'm comfortable. But so and so, they always wear XYZ and they're just over the top. Well, so and so happens to be sales rep. Okay, so they are outward facing and but see just right there the nuances that she was speaking with, the tone, it was not nice. And
mm-hmm.
yet it created this like competition like, well, you're overdoing it and I'm okay over here being fine in my comfy clothes and so it just creates this angst. And so what I try and do is share with people that what you're wearing has an impact, whether or not you think it does, whether it's energetically, communication wise, whether or not someone's going to perceive you as the expert, or whether or not you get a leadership role or the team. And so, how you show up can change that trajectory. Management's typically they're ready and willing to invest in their team members, and the team members oftentimes just don't know because no one's told them. You have a
Mm-hmm.
whole generation of people who went from college to COVID, working remotely, to then going into the office where there was no clear culture of what to wear. And so one level thinks, well, they should know what to wear, when in reality, they have no clue what to wear. and no one wants to tell them because they're afraid of having that hard conversation, because they're
Mm.
afraid of insulting or hurting someone's feelings, which I totally get. But when you come from a place of empowerment, I want to empower you. I want to give you the tools so that you can grow with the company and the leadership team. We want to see you
Mhm.
soar, and here's some tweaks that you can make to make that happen.
Yes. And it is so weird. I mean, I remember when I was still in corporate before the pandemic, like we had just started um testing out work from home days. Little did anybody know that was going to be the,
Right. Yeah.
and thankfully I was gone by then. But I remember there was a senior manager. Now, he was a piece of work. But anyways, we were in a Zoom meeting. He was dressed professionally up top and he stood up in his boxer shorts. He forgot he was wearing boxer shorts.
Mm,
And that did not go over well
no,
with anybody who was on that call.
no,
But it's like,
no.
I think people also just kind of get lazy. And I feel like even when I'm working on just creative stuff, I still get dressed for the day. Like I'm not
Right.
sitting around in my grubbies.
There's actual research that shows that when you quote unquote get dressed for work, like there's something that happens in your brain, like it switches on. Like
Mm-hmm.
you bring a different energy, just like we talked about. What you're wearing changes the energy that you're bringing, right? So if I'm wearing my sweats, I don't have sweats, but if I'm wearing my pajamas, that I'm not going to be working because that's not the energy I'm bringing. Versus if I get dressed, ready for work, quote unquote, then I'm putting something on that makes, and this is me personally, I'm putting something on that makes me feel confident that I feel good in, right? Otherwise, why am I, if I put something on, it doesn't fit, doesn't work more than once in my closet, it's gone. Because
Mm-hmm.
then I know it doesn't work for me anymore. It served me well, it was great, but it's not who I am anymore.
That's a perfect lead in to talk about what is your ABC system that you use?
So the ABC system is how to show up authentically on brand and with confidence. And really, it's choosing what you feel authentic in. And part of that is we've talked about it, letting go of pieces that don't work for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we change, we grow, we evolve, even if we've lived in the same place and worked at the same job for the last 10 years, right? We're not the same person. And so that shirt or that dress that once fit you and may still fit you literally no longer fits you figuratively. I mean, I have clothes that I've worn for 10 years or 8 years or 5 years, and it's like, yeah, I'm kind of tired of this. I feel in it, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so I let it go. And there's a small piece of us for some people that are like, oh, but I spent a lot of money on it. Oh, I invested in it. Oh, but it was so expensive. Or I had good memories in it, or whatever it is. Donate it to a women's shelter,
Yeah.
someplace, because there is another person who is looking for a job, left an abusive relationship, started a new job, whatever it is, and that piece will fit them perfectly and it
Yeah.
will give them confidence. And I truly believe, because have worked with so many women, when you wear something that doesn't quite fit or work for you, it shows
Mm-hmm.
energetically, how you're standing, how you're sitting, whether you're taking up space or not taking up any space. And so that's a really important piece of that. Um,
And energetically, also, when we have clutter, and I'm calling this clutter, it
yes,
stagnates how energy can move
yes,
around us. So when we're working on like releasing trapped emotional energy and all this stuff with people, I'm always asking them to clear out their physical clutter. And the first
hmm,
place the women go is their closets. And they're
right.
like, I can't even believe how much stuff I had sitting in there. I'm like, I
Yeah,
know.
you can't breathe,
No.
literally. You
Yeah.
like, and so what happens is you have a closet full of clothes that you're not wearing, and you're really only wearing maybe 5 to 7 outfits on repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably only using 30% of your clothes. And
Mm-hmm.
so you can really, you talked about you were afraid you had nothing left. But when I'm working with people, make a list. You don't have to give it all away. Like spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I mean, I created a challenge where it's really just 10 to 15 minutes a day. Pick one category, like pick one or two things out every day so it's not so overwhelming and you're not terrified. And if you really loved something that didn't fit, doesn't work, write it down, make a list, and then you can go shop with that list. Like, okay, I need this, I need that, not, oh, this is cute, it's on sale, I'm going to buy this, right? That doesn't incorporate the power of two. It's how do I make the most? If I'm going to spend the money, how do I make the most of what I'm spending?
Yes. And it goes, I have a thing with jeans because I also just remembered when I turned 40. So I'm 50 now, but when I had my 40th birthday, I bought these like $400 jeans. They were the most uncomfortable jeans I've ever worn in my life. They were like low rise, but I looked really good in them. I remember having to pull them up all night because I felt like my ass crack was hanging out. And then I remember keeping those jeans and I was like, oh, I can wear these in other places, knowing very well
Mm-hmm.
I was never going to wear them again. But it was the whole, oh, but I spent $400 on these. Like I should probably wear
Right.
them twice at least.
Well, yeah, and it's this idea that somehow it's going to get better or it's going to change, and it doesn't. But we think, well, I'll just leave it there, and then I'll go back to it, but it doesn't. And it really shifts. So I'll share a quick story with you. I had a client who moved into a leadership position. She called. She's in a panic. I need new clothes. I have these board meetings. So we bought new clothes. We had a whole packing list for the 3-day conference. Day debrief, day one was great. Day two, not so great. Day three was great. I'm like, okay, what happened day two? Well, I brought this comfy sweater from home. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, the comfy sweater from home was not on the packing list. Yeah. And the client, it was fantastic. She realized I didn't raise my hand. I didn't lead. I didn't collaborate. I was quiet. And she realized herself that she went from feeling confident and ahead of the game on day one and day three. But the minute she brought that piece from home that was no longer authentic. So basically, she took the clothes, the energy, and she stepped into this new person she wanted to be. And that old sweater from home took her back. And she wasn't comfortable anymore. And
Mm.
she noticed how small she became wearing that old sweater from home versus who she was on day one and day three. And so it was a real eye-opening moment for her. And it was great for me because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a real life example of that showing up authentically and with confidence and how we try and hang on to those things from the past and we think they're still going to work for us, but they really don't.
Mm. I want to do something fun with you that I've never done with anybody, but now I kind of feel like I might want to start doing it with people that I have on here. I want to
Okay.
do a little bit of a rapid fire for you.
Okay.
What would you say is one item that every next level woman should own?
Good underwear.
Yes. Okay. Funny story that ties into that. I just ruined my whole rapid fire, but it ties in. When I'm working with people on the identity stuff, one of the first things I say is you need to go buy yourself new underwear.
Yeah.
Because how many women out there, and if you're listening to this and you nod your head, you go buy new underwear, the holy underwear.
Yes.
I used to call them my gym underwear. Why was I not worthy of wearing like
Yeah.
proper undies that didn't have holes? And why, women, why are you not wearing? You can get sexy, comfy underwear.
Yeah. Well, not
Yeah.
just the underwear, but a proper bra.
Yes. Okay. Next question. What's your I'm a badass outfit?
It's my red suit.
Mm,
I feel fantastic in that no matter where I am, what I'm doing.
love. What's one style trend that needs to go in 2025?
Oh, barrel pants.
I don't even know what that is.
They're like, when cowboys stand with their those
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like bowed.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Uh-huh.
don't understand that. I don't.
Fair. It's fair.
But, that's
What
me.
fair. What does confidence look like in an outfit?
When it makes you stand taller and it's going to look different for everybody.
Hmm.
When you put something on and you literally stand taller and your shoulders go back, that's that's what you want. It could be a pair of jeans, it could be a dress, it could be a skirt, it could be a sweater,
Mm,
whatever it is for you.
I love that. What do you have going on for people these days? I mean, I'm going to link up your Instagram. Your book is going to be in there. Like, what else do you have going on?
I am going to do a capsule wardrobe webinar in August. I have the date, but I don't have it in front of me, but I will send you a link. But I really believe that you don't have to have a lot of clothes or spend a lot of money. You can create, 20, 30, 40 different outfits from 10 pieces when you have the right pieces that mix and match and you have the right colors that make you feel empowered and confident.
Hmm. I have one question that I love to ask everybody who I talk to. What does living a limitless life mean for you?
What does living a limitless life? Saying yes to the things that push me outside of my comfort zone and saying no to the things that no longer serve me.
Mm, I love this. This whole entire conversation just connects so beautifully with what I'm always saying. Your subconscious beliefs and your energy are driving how you show up. Style is physical, it's energetic, it's an energetic amplifier, I would say. And I love how you're giving women these tools to claim who they really are using things that are already hanging in their closet.
Yep.
So I just want to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend it with us and the audience here.
Thank
And
you.
I really loved having this conversation with you.
Me too. This was fun.